Welcome back, everybody, to another Code Peterson tutorial. We're working on our vertical scrolling arcade shooter in GB Studio. And in this demonstration, I want to add a little bit of animation to the environment in which our levels are placed for our game. I have my assets folder where all of my sprite work was done. And if you remember in an earlier tutorial, we did create our tiles, which had little squares, which we would use to compose our levels using that tiled program. I need to basically turn those graphics into a tile sheet. You could do this a number of different ways. Because we used Adobe Express before, that's what I want to use to show you one way to do this. So I'm going to go in here to custom size to Adobe Express. And for the size of this, it's going to be the size of a regular Game Boy screen. So I'm going to go 160 pixels wide by 144 pixels tall and create a new file. And here it is. And then the arcade shooter tiles that we created, I'm going to bring that in here. And then I just want to place this in the upper left-hand corner of my tile sheet. Now, ideally, I would actually want these to go all the way straight across, but right now I'm demonstrating this, so I'm not going to take the time to redo that tile sheet, and it'll work just fine. So then I'm going to select the background of this, and I want to change the background color. I'll go custom here. And if you remember on that earlier tutorials when we were doing our image sprites, we want this to be E0F8CF. Then I'm going to download it as a PNG. And then I will go to my downloads folder. And here is this file. And I'll rename it and I will call this tile sheet BG for tile sheet background. All right, and then I'll bring it in here to my assets folder just so I have it handy. And then I'm going to copy this and I want to go into my Skynight folder where I have my game and then assets. And I want to put this in the one that says tile sets. Paste. And we are well on our way for this. I need to find something on this level that is going to be there like the whole time, a sprite. And so I put this explosion animation off the screen, if you remember, and it's moving every time we hit an enemy. And so this isn't ever going to be destroyed on here right now in its current state. So I think this will work pretty good. So if we want to do this the easy way, then I would say we select this and then we want to go onto our on update section of that bullet. And we want to keep running while off screen. And we're going to add an event and we will search for tile and we want to replace tile at position. All right. And then it's asking us what tile we would like to replace. So when we move this around, you can kind of see how this works. It highlights the tile at the location that we're putting in there. Right here is one of the waves. It is like our two water waves in there. And then it's asking me what tile I want to replace it with. So I'm going to search, I'm going to scroll through here. All right, so it looks like tile 20 gives me two upside down waves. So that means right here, it's going to replace it to upside down waves. All right, and then I'm going to copy this event and then paste event after. And then this time I want to choose one that is one of the single waves that we have on there. Let's go there. Here's a single wave and I want to replace it with the upside down single wave tile that I have. So in my case, it is tile 20. All right, so these are changing. These are changing. What else do we have? We have this grass that we want to change. So let's copy the event and paste event after. We'll change the location here. This one goes over there, and we'll scroll down until we find it. And then this one, so on mine, it's tile 4. You can see where the blades of grass are bent on there a little bit. Okay, so each of those are going to change. And then I'm going to add an event, and I'll go wait and wait a duration of seconds. And we'll start with 0.5, and we'll just see how that looks when we go in here. Then I'm going to copy this event and paste event after, and then I'll click and drag it down underneath my wait for 5 seconds. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my second one, copy event, paste event after, click and drag that and put it down here at the bottom. And then I'll go here to the third one, copy event and paste event after. And we will bring that to the very bottom. And then we need to copy the event of our 0.5 seconds, and then I'll just choose this one down here and paste event after, so it waits 0.5 seconds. All right, then we just have to change these ones. So we're going to say we're going to change the tile at 5.6. We're going to change it back to the original 2 waves, which is 21. Then this one here, we're going to change this one back to, here we go. This one turns back to the single wave, right side up. And then this one down here, I'm going to have it be my original blades of grass. So here I'm changing the double waves to where they're both upside down, my single wave to where it's upside down, and my blades of grass to where they're bent. Then I'm going back to the original 2 waves, back to the original 1 wave, back to the original grass. And then it's going to wait 0.5 seconds. Let's save that here. And because we should only have to do this once, and then it's going to change any tile that's like that. So that's why having unique tiles for these is important, because changing one to one of them is going to change all the other events to it also. Let's go ahead and run this, and we'll see how it looks, and we'll see if it makes the game super laggy. So there's our water waves. There's our grass flowing back and forth. You can see it does kind of chug there a little bit. It kind of slows down a little, but we do have a lot of things going on there with that helicopter in there. But in the overall scheme of the whole game, that is really not too terrible. I might actually bring this boat back a little bit further and maybe spread this helicopter here. Let's try it one more time and see if that helps. All right, so the water's moving. Yeah, that's a lot better. We still have just a little bit of some strange movement right there. But overall, not too terrible. And I tell you what, we got a tank right there, so it might not be a bad idea to put a boat right here. That there. It's kind of up to you. I probably could have put some more waves in there or made it look a little different, but that does add just a little bit extra to where you can tell you have some motion going on in the background behind it, a little extra animation. And if it's something where it really slows down your game, then you can use your GB Studio action script for that. And I have other tutorials you can check on some of my earlier tutorials that I've made on this channel for GB Studio where I show how to do that with code. But I think for everything we're doing with this game right here, I think that works pretty nicely. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you have other ideas for animation that you think would be a little more effective. Can't wait to hear them, and we will catch you on our next video down the road here.